What's up, Broncos fans? This is Cecil Lammy from ESPNDenver.com, and you're watching Bronco Planet.
Well, hey there, folks. It's Chad and Danny, and by God, Chad, it's the first edition, first installment of Bronco Planet 2013. Training camp is underway. We've been there. You know, we already got the juices flowing for the year, Chad. So far, and you've been up closest probably than anybody here around in Bronco Planet land. Let's talk about camp here.
All right, great things are happening. I mean, the crowds are out there, record numbers as usual, and some great things to see out there. We got some new players, you know, good to see Sylvester Williams signs his contract. He's at camp. DRC, man, I think that's going to be a great pickup, looking good already, seeing him out there. You see a guy like Sean Phillips, who I know you went crazy about when the Broncos were able to bring him in after Doomerville had out of town. So you bring all that together, you throw in a Wes Welker, you got Peyton Manning, you got Showtime, 123 reporters, Danny, out there opening day, while Seattle had 15. That tells you who the country's watching. It's right here in our city. So good news, Danny.
Yeah, as exciting as camp is, you know, opening, that excitement. A little bit of bad news today on the injury front.
Little bit. Hell no. It's a lot of bad news.
Yeah,
Dan Copen, I mean, the guy who was a rock for us last year, comes back, torn ACL. You know, it's just bad juju, Danny. I saw Macklin out and Pitta yesterday. I'm just like, please don't let it happen to the Broncos. Things happen in threes, as you know, and boom, Copen goes down. Yeah. He's in a cart. Things over, and now we're relying on your favorite buddy,
Manny Ramirez. He's my new favorite center for the Denver Broncos. You know, the funny thing is, Manny Ramirez does. He's got the size. He's as big as a house. He can lift the gym. Didn't have a whole lot of success on the right guard when Cooper was having some health issues.
Maybe.
But this may be something that this could be a 3-alarm fire for the Broncos. The first one this year. We do have some folks on the roster that have some experience at center. A couple of guys who actually played the position in college, but nobody's really talking about them. You know, the alarms are going off. What do we do? Does Peyton pick up the phone, call Jeff Saturday, and try to talk him out of retirement? Did the Broncos look elsewhere out there for a guy? You know, I know there's a particular center that you're high on from Tennessee. What's his name?
Ammon, I think it's Eugene Ammon. Has 7-8 years with them. Had big dollars, got released. He's really about the only center that's a free agent that I believe's left out there. You know, we don't follow centers across the NFL,
especially ones
who
from
knows?
Tennessee.
You know, we've heard everything in Denver from hey, switch over Ben Garland, maybe he can try center. To what about Philip Blake? I mean, here the Broncos go, 4th-round pick from Baylor, same school as J.D. Walton, and have heard nothing about him. C.J. Davis is hurt, so I don't know. The Broncos got a mess at center, but we're not here to let the air out of your balloon. We are here to celebrate the Broncos. They got to get past the center problem, but a lot of good things.
Kind of an important position when your quarterback is Peyton Manning, who now will probably be 100% in the shotgun formation until this gets worked out. At least if I'm John Fox, that's what I'm thinking. But let's switch gears. Let's talk about some of the positive things, Shad. And for the first time in a long time, you know, we talk about all these free agent signings that have kind of, and the marquee guys, you know, the Wes Welkers and the Rogers Comardi, and it's so cool to see these things, these guys on the field. But I think overall, the one thing that's exciting me the most is all of a sudden we've got all this depth on both sides of the ball except for center.
Yeah, no, you know? It's we had it for a while, but it just went away quickly. Right. No, absolutely. I mean, you look at that receiving core. We know the top three: Thomas, Decker, Welker. But then you start getting into a big, complicated puzzle. Caldwell, is it Robinson? You got the King doing a great job from Georgia, looking good out there. I know you like the fast little guy,
Quincy McDuffie. He is lightning in a bottle, my friend.
He's like a Trendon Holiday, but he can catch the ball. So.
Right. Oh, and you know something? Going back to Jarrell Robinson, you got to love a guy who's 6'3", 6'4", 220. He is the prototypical guy. Brock Osweiler obviously knows him very well. And, you know, today's a perfect example with Dan Coppen. Depth is everything to a football team. Ask our running back situation last year. You know, all of a sudden, boom, you're a few guys down, and Lance Ball's looking pretty good. It's one thing in camp to start losing guys. Obviously, it's another big deal in the season. But the depth overall of this this team you got to be happy with.
Yeah, no, really. And let's go right to another position you just mentioned, the running backs. I mean, obviously they bring in, we get in our first round, well, not even our first round draft pick, right? We got Ball, who comes in
Montee Ball.
looking really good at catching the ball out of the backfield. Been really impressed with what he can do. I think he's picking up his reads. He's getting coached a little bit. I think he's gotten his butt chewed, as rookies do. A little learning here and there. Ronnie Hillman definitely has come to camp in better shape. He's bulked up a little bit and looking really good. They had a drill the other day. His helmet goes flying off and he sticks with the block. Ronnie Hillman is not going to give up that spot to the rookie very easily.
Right.
I think that's a 1-2 punch. Jeremiah Johnson, couple practices in a row, some long runs. And I don't know, maybe this is the season. We've been saying it for a while. Is this the season Lance Ball, who's very valuable on special teams, could he go away? Because then you have the whole No-Sean Moreno.
You still have No-Sean. Yeah, as long as No-Sean Moreno is on the roster, it's if he goes away, well, then things probably get a little complicated. But if there's a lesson that we learned last year is you can never have enough depth, especially at running back. Is a guy like Ronnie Hillman built like a Willis McGahee? No. Does he have the durability to go a full season of pound? Probably not. Montee Ball, on the other hand, well, that's all like the poor kid did in college, rather, is just grind it out. So
yeah, he is so much solid. His legs, you see him standing next to Hillman. I mean, they're a different type running back for sure. Even with Hillman bulking up, he is no Montee Ball from that standpoint. But we're going to go into, I want to talk a little bit about the area I'm most excited about, the improvements, and it's on the defensive side, both at the line and the defensive back. But before we do that, you know what time it is, Danny. It's been a while.
Prize Monkey.
Prize Monkey. That monkey's funky.
Say what?
Prize Monkey. That monkey's funky.
The Bronco Planet Prize Monkey isn't and never will be trademarked by Bronco Planet. Let's face it, monkeys are funny, but occasionally Prize Monkey goes crazy and starts doing copyrighted material such as the Tebow, the Funky Chicken, and Peanut Butter Jelly Time. All prizes are final, no takey-backies. We here at Bronco Planet recommend that you prize monkey responsibly.
Hi, I'm Sarah Long with my little sister Chloe, and we're with the Prize Monkey, and we're giving away a Al Wilson autographed plaque.
There you go, Shaddy. Sarah Long representing the Denver Broncos this year in Radio City Music Hall for the draft in her first encounter with the Prize Monkey.
Yeah, and hey, you know what? That is one sharp kid. Rick Long, his wife, done a great job raising that kid.
Sure.
Diehard Bronco fan. Anyway, we're going to give away a prize. Sarah, thanks for representing the Bronco Planet, bringing it down, if you will, from going from Roger Goodell to Shad and Danny.
Yeah, right.
Well, what can you do? But anyway, hey, Danny, you wanted to recognize somebody on our Facebook page that's always active. We know he's a big Al Wilson fan. Who are we going to give it to?
Armin Latham. Nothing says Al Wilson like Armin Latham. These two somehow brothers from another mother, but connected. And when we came up with this Al Wilson deal, Armin, you are a slam dunk. So congratulations, a little courtesy clap from you. Well, there'll be more prizes out there, and believe me, Armin is just one of many people out there that contribute daily. I mean, honestly,
it's a great group we got there. If you're not part of our Facebook group, it's not a page, it's a group,
right?
Bronco Planet group. You're missing out, especially on game day. A million comments will fly by.
Yep.
But let's move on to the defense.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about how improved they're going to be with DRC. This is a guy who's 3 years in a row had an interception for a touchdown back in the day, former All-Pro. I mean, it's a step up. Tracy Porter he had that one good game, and then it just didn't fit right, and then the head issues and all the other stuff.
The one thing about
DRC
Rodgers
is the real deal.
Yeah, and I agree. And one of the things that you really got to love about this guy is that Champ is still on the other side. Is Champ going to still give him some pointers, take him under his wing a little bit? Sure. The guy's 27 years old. He's accomplished quite a bit for a guy that young, fresh set of legs, and a guy that hopefully Denver can lock up long term. Obviously, with Champ in the twilight of his career.
Yeah, without a doubt. And some people argue, well, DRC didn't have a very good year last year, kind of average. Well, 3 interceptions, which was more than our 2 safeties combined. So, hey, I'm happy to have him on there. We got Quentin Jammer from the Chargers. Right. You see David Bruton stepping up. And Raheem Moore. I mean, we've been critical of Raheem.
That
at
was a
times.
naughty word just not too long ago, folks. But so far in
But
camp,
this guy handled it good, stepped up, accepted
on the chin.
responsibility
Sure.
afterwards. He worked really hard in the offseason, has looked really good at camp, has the right attitude. And you know what? I'm liking Raheem Moore and what he's done. I'm feeling very good about the defensive backs. And not just the defensive back. How about the big boys? We got some beef in the middle.
Before we talk about beef, just another quick shout out, Chris Harris, Tony Carter. Again, that comes back to the D word, meaning depth. Day one, 7-on-7 offense, defense. I love the fact that Tony Carter stepping out in front of Demaryius Thomas and say, I want this one. I want this one. And he did it 3 or 4 times in a row. That's the kind of guy that you want on your team. To be the best, you got to beat the best. Arguably DT in that category. So I'm real excited. But getting back to the beef, and let's start in the middle of the line, Shad, with beef is most important. And what do you like most?
I like Terrence Knight and pot roast.
That's right. We like us some pot roast.
And that is one big dude. And
he hates that moniker. That's why we're going to still call him pot roast.
But he's it. There's no getting around it. This guy is beef. There's no getting around him.
Right.
Love the fact that you bring in some power rusher with Sylvester Williams. I think he's going to be absolutely astounding this year. Derek Wolfe. You got Vickerson, who's a monster. I really, really feel good about this defense. And this is what makes the Broncos even better. They got such a good defense.
Right.
Probably winning the battle just slightly after 3 days of camp.
Right.
You got Peyton Manning, Demaryius Thomas, Welker on the other side. These guys are making each other better each and every day.
Right.
I love the beef in the middle. We needed that. We've got some stronger secondary. The question mark this year is Nate Irving ready to step up. Joe May struggled a little last year. Well, he struggled a lot, then got hurt. Nate Irving, Stuart Bradley hasn't shown me much. 3 days in the camp, and by the way, looks a little bit like a caveman, that guy. But
with that being said, you got to wonder then if the Broncos aren't going to show more of a dime package. They had an opportunity to draft at the middle linebacker position. They had an opportunity to go out, and had an opportunity in free agency to pick up a middle linebacker. All of a sudden, we've got all this depth in the DB side of the defense, and then all the lumber up front with speed on the outside. So, I'm with you. I've been waiting on Nate Irving. Been wanting me to see some Nate Irving. We hyped him up a couple of years ago when he was drafted. Was real high on this kid. This is a different defense now, Shad.
Yeah, no, I think it fits to him. I think he's quick. I think it should be good. He's not that loud.
Right.
So Woodyard continues to just look awesome. I think Woodyard could have an all-pro season. We already know Von Miller's off the charts, and
Ayers now with Elvis leaving the building. A guy like Robert Ayers could certainly come to the outside.
Well, we would hope so. I'm not overwhelmed with Ayers at this point, but maybe this is the year.
You never know. You never know, my friend. But a lot of exciting things on the defensive side of the ball for sure.
Yeah. So I think you put it all together. You got a returning defensive coordinator, which we're not used to.
What? 2 in a row?
We've got Peyton Manning. We bring in Wes Welker. You add it all together. I feel after 3 days of camp, this is if we can just avoid the injuries, no more coping issues. I think great things are going to happen. We'll be here. We're going to follow up you all through camp. And if you want to follow daily, just go to BroncoPlanet.com and look at the captain's log.
Right.
Kirk Davis is out there every day, best spot in the whole of training camp, sits there documenting drill by drill to the horn what's going on. And then also we'd like to tell you about the Denver Bronco Booster Club, which is who's partnered with the Alumni Association. So go check those guys out. They're going to be doing a lot of fun things with the alumni, players, barbecues, fun things. So
prizes.
BroncoPlanet.com. And don't be afraid to go over to dbboosterclub.com and help support some of these great organizations, charities that the alumni and the quarterback club support. So I think that's about all we got. Good things, very positive. No more injuries. And let's hope the best for this whole Von Miller deal. No more silliness. We need Von back, but when he comes back, he's going to be an animal.
That's right.
Look out, folks.
We'll see you next time. For Shad, I'm Danny. This is Bronco Planet.
Good day.